Ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, cool.
You ready? Week 3?
Dude, 2 down already? Like,
Take sober breaks, baby.
what's going on, bro?
Or it must be on fire or something, dog.
Dude, let's get it. How have you been?
I've been good.
Yeah.
I've been good. Yeah, just excited to get back to it.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been extremely constipated. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Like, I have not had a bowel movement in going on 8 days now. So, yeah.
You should probably get that checked out.
No, I refuse to eat fiber. It's kind of like a personal thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah.
It's just not for me, you
Okay.
know. Yeah, I think that maybe talking some of this stuff, it actually makes me sick to my stomach, so maybe this will help my digestive tract.
Okay.
So.
Okay, most definitely. Yeah, well, with that going on, cue the soldier.
Down. 5 seconds.
All right, well, first off, week 3, probably start off just a little prayer to Tiger Woods that he makes it in recovery safely. If y'all don't know, he was involved in a one-car accident this past week. Very, very serious, crushed ankle, I believe, another, a few bones broken in his lower extremities. After the major comeback, just kind of a shock. It looks like he's going to be all right, but anyways, just Tiger, be safe, praying for you.
Yeah, this isn't always a serious podcast. In fact, it's mostly not designed to be that way, but this is an extremely serious moment and topic, and with, all love and everything that we have, we're thinking, we're praying.
Absolutely.
For the Tigers family.
Absolutely.
And, the golfing community, really.
Absolutely.
Sports world.
Sports world. Yeah, big shock. With that being said, on the tone of not seriousness, let's move into the NBA.
Yeah.
I think a good topic today would be to start off with the Lakers, who are 1-5 now without Anthony Davis. Lost 4 straight or something like that. I believe they're on a 4-game losing streak.
They are.
They're not necessarily close losses either. Lots of blowouts. What's going on? No AD, no Dennis.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are talking about, about their struggles, and it's really interesting. With AD, without AD, I should say, I believe they were like 500 or something like that. But as soon as they lost Schroeder, then they lost, 4 in a row. Mm-hmm. So, how much do you read into that? They were going to struggle without AD regardless.
Right.
But it's really been tough for them. To be successful in the NBA, you have to have certain players who can initiate the offense, who can get their own shot.
Right.
Bron can do that every time down the court.
Absolutely.
AD can do that. Probably their only other player that can do that would be Dennis Schroeder. I mean, you could say Kyle Kuzma, but if Kyle Kuzma is, your second best player on a team, I mean, it's just not going to go too well.
Not looking up for you. Kyle Kuzma's got potential, but he's no Alex Caruso.
Not at all.
No.
Specifically, let's dive into this Jazz game a little bit, because the Lakers, the defending champs against somebody, the Jazz, who we talked about
quite a few
both
times.
Weeks.
Yep.
Both podcasts
they're
already.
They're on fire right now.
Absolutely waxed the Lakers.
What was the final score? Like 114
89.
89.
Yeah, so they didn't even put up 90 points.
Wow, you don't see that very often.
No, you don't.
You don't see that very often.
LeBron had 19, 4 and 4. I mean, that's just a horrible game for him, a horrible game for everybody on the team.
Right.
I'll tell you what, man, I actually kind of feel bad for LeBron, and I usually,
Yeah.
Not the biggest fan, but I feel bad for him. I mean, the dude is straight up 600 years old, bro. He's playing 100 minutes a game, and he's getting his stool softened by a lank-ass bitch named Rudy. Okay? That's literally the worst possible situation that you could find yourself in.
Oh, dude. Rudy, though, I mean, hey. The season Rudy having right now is ridiculous, but yeah, to be the king, I don't know if you can get messed up like that and make a full recovery from it. I'm not exactly sure how that works.
It might be chalked. I'm not gonna lie.
It might be chalked. To be honest, it might be.
That dude's all limbs, bro. Rudy, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my goodness,
it's pretty fucked up. And, I've been watching the Lakers a little bit just because they're good television. Mm-hmm. Regardless, they're always a good story. But I got to tell you, man, without Schroeder AD, the Lakers, they really remind me of, like, you know those teams that pop up and, you know, the March Madness bracket, and you've, like, never heard of them before, and they start doing some stuff,
like
you know.
Loyola Chicago.
Yeah, like Colgate Tech or Mayonnaise State, you know, like, just these teams that come out of nowhere.
Where did you find that team at, bro?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure they're out there somewhere.
Oh, okay, thanks.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah,
but that's what they look like. They look like just, you know, a bunch of guys. You know, they talk about that in the NFL sometimes. You know, you got players and you got Jags, just a guy. You know, replaceables. Mm-hmm. Pretty much that's their roster outside of maybe those three guys. You know, I like Montrezl Harrell, but
I do. I like a lot of their roster, but it's just they're not getting in the wins right now without two of their best players, and it's tough. It's tough.
And we'll keep talking about them, I'm sure.
You know, for sure, absolutely.
LeBron teams, they have a slump, you know, around the All-Star break every year. So, I mean, you know, we're not overreacting to it a whole lot. We would love to. You know, I want to see somebody else do something. But, you know,
I still think that Lakers will probably make the finals at this point. But, you know, should the Jazz or somebody keep showing us something? I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens for sure. I don't know if you saw it. Ooh. I'm going to pull up the games from last night. But in the meantime, let's talk about the All-Star snubs. Because the All-Star list was came out a couple nights ago, two nights ago, something like that. And no D-Book there. And I know he made it on there, but give me your perspective on that.
It's, you know, I called it as soon as it happened. I knew that they were just, like, putting Anthony Davis in the All-Star game so that they could take him out and then, like, replace him with, you know, Booker because, I mean, he had deserved it. I mean, I really feel bad for Book. I mean, because, like, in this situation, he's basically, like, Adam Silver's, like, backup hoe.
Right.
You know, like, when the main hoe falls through, like, he'd set up shit, but then she's, like, fucking breaks her throat. And she can't give you what you need.
Absolutely.
You have to turn to, like, your backup hoe.
Your backup hoe, almost.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's
we're on that
Booker
level.
In this situation.
Pretty much.
Which sucks, dude, because, like, you don't want to be, like, the second option.
You never want to be the second option.
You really don't. You know, you want to feel wanted in a relationship.
No, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
It's pretty much what broke up my parents' marriage. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
No. Yeah. That's pretty terrifying. I thought your parents were still married. This is news to me.
It's all a frame of mind when you really think about it. But no, in all seriousness, I even with the injury notwithstanding, I thought Booker was more deserving of the All-Star bid than Anthony Davis this year.
I thought so too. I think that was a consensus. You know, not necessarily a complete, but Devin Booker was balling out this year. I do have a question for you, and here's an interesting take. So, how much do you think it matters if your team is winning, or if you're just putting up really, really good numbers and your team is struggling? Like, what is the balance? Is there a balance, or is there one that should be prioritized over the other? Because I thought I had an interesting take, and I want to hear your take on this.
Yeah. Well, you know, as far as I'm concerned, there does have to be a consideration of both of those things because, you know, I think Zach LaVine's a great example. You know, the dude's been putting up all-star numbers for, you know, 3 or 4 years now, but he has not been on a team that's even been close to being in playoff contention.
Right. No, exactly.
So as a result of that, you know, there was really no, like, outcry of him being snubbed as an all-star.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure.
This year, they're better, so, you know, you get that.
Yeah.
There are some guys like Bradley Beal who are just so good that, you know, your team might be one of the worst in the league, but he's, like, almost transcendently good.
Right.
You know, this season.
Exactly.
So it kind of overcomes that.
And I heard, like I was saying, I heard this take, and it was talking about kind of there's a balance between both. I think it's consideration for both sides of the argument for different people. So Chris Paul, for example, right? You need to consider, you know, how much of an effect he's had on his team, right? But then you look at a guy like Zion Williamson when the Pelicans aren't doing, you know, crazy, they're not putting up crazy good, you know, stats this season or, you know, not even getting wins. But Zion's just been so good that you kind of take the opposite side of that and like, okay, he's putting up good numbers, so he should make it. But maybe Chris Paul should make it as well because his team is winning, and he's a big reason for that. I just thought that was interesting. That's a good take.
Another guy, real quick, I wanted to mention was Demar Derozan. I feel like the Spurs, I think they're 5th right now, and or 5th or 6th or whatever in the West. But you know, I thought like, you know, he was a bit of a snub. I I don't think I would have like put him in over anybody else, but I wanted
Right.
him to get some recognition.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And then Zion, man. What do you
Fourth
think
youngest
about him?
player. I mean, he's an animal. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He's a beast. I think with him, I mean, obviously he's putting up the numbers, right? I mean, he's having a pretty good season for himself. What's he averaging this year? He's definitely averaging over 20. Right?
I think it's like 24, 25 points a
24.
game on like
Yeah.
60% shooting,
Right.
close to that.
I mean, yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
He pretty much can. Well, he can guard 1 through 5 or 2 through 5 maybe, but he can pretty much play those positions now. I mean, in college, his 3-point percentage wasn't great, but he's kind of got a shot now, and you know how much of an animal he is when he gets inside the paint. He's just a beast. So yeah, fourth youngest player. He definitely deserves it. I don't think that I would have taken anybody else over him necessarily, but yeah, it's just incredible how good he's been.
Yeah, and I mean he. Like you were saying, he's so young that his game is so undeveloped.
Right.
The fact that he's already an all-star, I wanted to mention the fact that he's like playing point forward this year, basically.
Right.
I mean, he's initiating a lot of the offense.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's really you can just see it. He reminds me a lot of LeBron in that way. He's like a smaller LeBron,
Mm-hmm.
smaller, in stature. He's
Right.
just as muscular, more muscular than LeBron.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. More
There-
explosive, almost.
yeah. So excited to see him continue to develop. He's pretty much up across the board.
Definitely.
I pulled it up. He's averaging 25.5 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. So
Yeah, that's a pretty good season.
those will keep climbing.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. As he just continues to develop.
What a great kid. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's transition from that to somebody who isn't quite as great of a kid. So this is cool. No, this is fun. This is fun.
Okay.
So how about we talk a little bit about Malik Beasley?
Who is Malik? Tell me. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's a guard for the Timberwolves. Last
Okay.
year he played for the Nuggets.
Okay.
And right now he's averaging 20 points a game
Right.
for the T-Wolves.
Right. That's pretty good.
Right, it is pretty. But the issue is the fact that currently he will not be able to put up those numbers because according to multiple reports, he got sussed.
He got sussed.
He did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, like your brother one time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so people were hitting Malik up. They were like, "Yo, Malik,
Are you sus?
are you sus,
Are you
bro?"
sus kind of thing? Yeah.
Wasn't responding, dude. But then, Adam Schefter, the guys report that he is indeed sussed for 12
Damn,
games.
bro. He was in Adam Silver's office.
Yeah,
having that
man.
conversation. That's kind of crazy.
Adam-
12 game. What was he sussed for exactly?
Yeah, well, apparently he was like brandishing an assault rifle at a Parade of Homes fair.
Oh,
So-
facts, as you do.
I guess this isn't fucking America anymore, dude. Our rights are being stripped away, and you can't do that anymore, which is complete bullshit. I thought this was the land of the free. I guess
Facts.
there are no
12
freedoms left.
Bro,
So Malik sussed 12 games for that.
if you get sussed 12 games for toting your pipe, bro, I don't even know what else to tell you.
Alleged possession of illicit drugs. I mean,
Oh,
it's not
okay,
proven.
facts. Right, yeah, no. Right.
Although he did plead guilty, but that's kind of,
that's
besides the
irrelevant.
point.
It's irrelevant. Yeah, exactly.
But it was awesome that this happened, not for, the fact that he, like, crimed.
Right, yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's never great.
But for the sake of our podcast.
For the sake of our podcast, but also because this means we get to bring up his personal life, which is so much more
Okay,
interesting.
run it down for me,
anything
Jack.
else.
Run it down for me.
So this is going to turn into Entertainment Weekly, like, real quick.
Okay.
So, basically, he was married, I think they were married to this, like, this supermodel. I mean, she was beautiful.
Right.
Okay, just absolutely gorgeous.
Right.
And apparently, he cheated on her in the offseason.
Oh, facts.
Which came out,
That's
like,
terrible.
I know,
yeah,
on social
adultery's
media.
never cool.
Right. That's a sin.
Was it relevant though? Like
Well, yes, it was because he was cheating. He was fucking Scottie Pippen's wife, Larsa Pippen, and like there's pictures of them hanging out and all that.
what?
And it's messed up. But this, so then I went to do a little research, and this wasn't the first time Larsa was catching some pipe from an NBA player while she's married to Scottie. She was catching it for Tristan Thompson before, as well.
What?
So she was making the rounds.
Right.
And, I mean, she's been busy, and people are, like, straight up bullying Scottie's kid.
Oh, my gosh.
And
bro.
she's just, like, I mean, okay, so Scottie Pippen's in the Hall of Fame for basketball.
Yeah, no, he's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, she's in the Hall of Fame for being a whore. She's just awful, dude.
Oh, dude.
It's a mess.
Oh, dude, that ceiling's not very high on that one, bro. I don't know what else to tell you.
I don't know, man. So Malik was laying the pipe there.
That's crazy.
And so that is very unfortunate. But dude, I got to see where the saga goes next, because this dude,
absolutely,
he's turning into like the most interesting man in basketball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one else gives us these headlines. It used to be JR.
It used to be. Yeah. Right. Facts. That was a good time.
Now it's Malik, dude.
Now it's Malik.
We'll talk about him maybe when he comes back.
Yeah, don't worry.
When he's unsussed.
Check out for Jack's Twitter. He'll keep you guys all covered on that.
Yeah, dude. Just like every single day, just
Facts.
Malik Beasley updates.
Facts.
He's still sus.
He's still sussed. Bro. Dude. Speaking of low ceilings.
Yeah.
Maybe not low ceilings, but ceilings in general. Let's move back to basketball.
Okay.
And talk a little about the playoffs. Unless you had something else you want to talk about.
Wait, the NBA playoffs?
The NBA playoffs.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right. It sounds good. So, all right. So, obviously the Jazz are overperforming what people thought they were going to do this year.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert is up for Defensive Player of the Year. Donovan Mitchell is just balling out. And the whole team, I mean, besides those two, they have some good players, but they are piecing it together all the way, and they are the best team so far, the hottest team in the NBA. Where do you think their ceiling ends in terms of how far they can make it in the playoffs? Especially with the 7-game series, and, like the Lakers. Like, can they take down some of these teams in the West, maybe make it to the championship, maybe win a championship? Where do you think the ceiling is for them?
So, this is a two-part discussion.
Okay.
So, we could talk about this without injuries, assuming that everybody's healthy in the league, and we could talk about it, with injury concern.
Mm-hmm.
But for the sake of this, let's say everybody in the league is healthy.
Right.
I think their ceiling is Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
I don't think they're beating a healthy Lakers team. They're probably not going to beat a healthy Clippers team, to be quite honest with you. But, they're so unproven that, I'm not going to say that.
Right.
And then, even if they were to somehow make the finals, they're probably going to get, beat in 5 or 6 games by, the Nets projected out of the East.
Yeah. I agree for sure.
However, if AD doesn't come back as Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant doesn't come back as Kevin Durant, because now the report just came out that he's not going to play through the All-Star break. Totally different discussion. This is
absolutely.
You take out, just those two guys, and you're talking, they could win the chip this year easily.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely, and that's something we'll definitely have to look out for because, again, the Jazz aren't just beating teams; they are destroying them.
They are.
They put up a 30-point margin on the Lakers, and without, of course, their best, but still, AD doesn't come back. AD, that's still a 10-point victory in the 7-game series. I think they could easily take them out of. Yeah.
And here's a little note for you. If you're going to get into betting, do not listen to Barstool Bets, okay? So they were the ones that were telling people that, Luka Garza and the Hawkeyes were going to, cover or whatever, destroy Michigan.
Right.
Listen to the Jazz, though. They're 20-2 against the spread in their last 22 games, I think was the stat. So
wow.
I might have to get into gambling,
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm running out of sins
right
facts, now because,
facts.
It's...
For sure, you're covering the whole list.
Yeah, I'm really modeling my career. I'm trying to, at least after Malik Beasley, so I really have to get out there. So we're going to start that stepladder.
Just for curiosity, where a couple other teams, let's go and run through some of these teams that are... So, like, 76ers, what do you think they make it this year? I don't think they're going to beat even a Nets team without Kevin Durant, but they very well could. But what do you think?
Same discussion. I think with KD, they're an Eastern Conference Finals team. Mm-hmm. I think without KD, I think they are, they could win the championship.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, and the issue is that the Nets don't really have a big man to defend him, DeAndre Jordan. But,
right. Yeah. Exactly.
KD is so good that he kind of overcomes. He kind of
right.
masks that flaw.
Exactly.
So without him, I'm a little bit less certain.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, would you still pick the Nets in that series?
I would. Yeah. It would definitely go to 7 for sure. We know how Embiid has played in the past, and so I'm taking a little bit of that into consideration. But, the fact that he's on track to become an MVP this year, he keeps playing like this, he will be. MVP, Embiid, I still don't know because it's so hard to root out Harden and Kyrie. Because they're so clutch.
Yeah.
And again, I take back this. I'll I'll take a 3-point shot over a 2-point shot every day if it's Harden, Kyrie, Steph, Dame. You know what I mean? And so the fact that Embiid is, on this other level and he's going to put up 40 a game, I still think that the Nets can outscore him, which is essentially what it will come down to. So 7-game series for me, but that's, should anything else happen, should they lose somebody else, one of their third or fourth pieces, maybe DeAndre Jordan comes back and he's not all the way healthy. I don't know if they could beat the 76ers. So just an interesting question. It's going to be really weird this year.
And let me ask you 2 teams then.
Okay.
Same question, Suns and Hornets.
Man, I love myself the Hornets. I'm not gonna lie. I do. I don't know if they make it through. What are they right now? What seed are they? Are they?
Yeah, they're hovering right around that. The play-in stuff. So that's 8, 9, 10 kind of.
Yeah, I think they can make the play-in tourney. Let's see, 8 right now. Yeah, so I think they can make it in as an 8 seed. I think the 7 through 11 seed is gonna for the play-in or whatever. Yeah. Right. So I think they can make it in there. I just don't know how much. I mean, they're not going to beat a 76ers or a Nets team, right? So should they get up higher a little bit, I think maybe they could take it to 7 with the Bucks. But even the Bucks, I don't know if they can beat. So the Hornets, I don't know if they make it out of the first round. I think they definitely make it in, though. They have a lot of experience and new talent on that team. The Suns, it's kind of the same thing with the Suns. I'm not sure. I love Devin Booker. I think they have more of a chance to do it with D-Book and Chris Paul, but I don't know. I don't know. They're ranked a 4 seed right now, so they're gonna end up playing the Trailblazers and Dame, and you never know with Dame, to be honest. And the way Melo has been showing some signs this year, you never know. So second round, third round, probably for the Suns, but definitely not past the first round for the Hornets, I think, which is fair.
All right, I like that take. Mm-hmm. So we're going to segue into some college basketball now, but I have actually a little surprise for you.
Oh.
We're going to play a game to get it started.
Right, yeah, facts.
So
Absolutely.
What I have here is I have collected some of the best names in college basketball.
Okay. So you have collected some of the best names in college basketball.
Yes. In honor of Coffee Cockburn, I have collected some of the greatest names in college basketball.
Of all time or just this year?
No, this is this year and last year, I think.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 4 names, and you have to tell me which of those names I made up. So which of these is not a real name, okay?
Okay, facts.
All right. So the first 4 names are Chuck Champion, Paulie Polycap, Manai Keep on Cummins, or San Antonio Brinson. Which one of those names is not a real name?
Shit. Can you give me the first names again?
Yeah. So we got Chuck Champion, Paulie Polycap, Manai Keep on Cummins, or San Antonio Brinson.
I'm gonna have to go with Chuck. I don't know why. It's
Chuck?
It's the least common. It's more like a common name than the other 3, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, you would be wrong. I made up Manai Keep on Cummins.
Keep on Cummins. See, it was such a bullshit name that I just wasn't sure with you. You know what I mean? That's like such a. So these are some of the best players in college basketball. You said?
Oh, not best. No, not by any means.
Okay.
These are the best names in college basketball.
Facts. Right. Okay.
All right. The second 4 names we have Tyler Cheese. We have Tyler Cheese, Kentucky Fried Tibia,
What the fuck?
Fats Russell, or Hunter Seacat.
So you're gonna sit here and tell me that Kentucky Fried is somebody's first and middle name. Fuck you. That's not a real name.
No, it's Kentucky, and then his last name is Fried Tibia.
Fried Tibia. Oh, fuck that. It's not a real name.
Yeah, that is correct. That is not a real name. Okay. All right, the last 4 names.
Oh, shit, dude.
All right. They are Andrew Pickles, Golden Dyke, Zion Williams, or Roshi Groot fam.
What? Oh my gosh. How do I even choose? I gotta go with Golden Dyke.
Golden Dyke?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a trick question. Those are all real names.
No way. Are you serious?
I'm
Golden Dyke was a name. What? What team?
Andrew Pickles. Dude, I have no idea. But they were on a team. Okay, they were on college rosters. I promise you. You can look them all up.
No, I believe you. That's insane. That's crazy. I think I need a. Oh my gosh, I need something.
All right, so
whatever. Holy shit, a fan.
Okay, so that was guess the name. So.
Is that a new segment or just like a one-time thing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
It's going off the rails pretty quickly, so.
Facts. Let's bring it back.
Let's do it.
To Michigan State University.
Tell me about them.
Dude, oh my goodness gracious. Being a Michigan fan, I've always had this consensus with family and friends that Ohio State is the worst university in the world. But Michigan State isn't bad unless they're playing us, right? So, like, I had this mutual respect for our little brothers. But right now, Tom Izzo is not only proving why he is a top 2 coach in college basketball in the pool of people right now, right? But Michigan State is proving why they are worthy of a bracket spot this year. Even though they, going into the game against Ohio State, they had a net ranking of 75. So that's a far ways out because first 4 out are 68, right? So you're talking about 7 spots to jump. But I'll tell you what, Ohio State and Illinois, 2 top 5 teams back to back like that, that is a convincing enough argument for me because I know how strong the Big Ten is, let alone 2 top 5 teams. Man, it's just been really, really impressive to see how they've been coming back from their early season struggles. Langford. Henry, what's his name? I'm sorry.
Just really.
Go ahead.
Was it Watts? Rocket Watts?
Rocket Watts, yeah, but I'm trying to.
That's another cool name.
That's another great name. I do like Rocket Watts. He actually played. Fun fact: he actually played the same AU basketball team as LaMelo Ball.
Really?
Yes, he did. They both played for IMG.
Well, yeah.
So, anyways.
Where else do you get this knowledge, bro?
Oh, facts. Exactly.
I mean, this is like
exactly
inside stuff. Right
takes over breaks, baby. Anyways, MSU, definitely worthy of a bracket spot right now. They still got to keep winning. There's a couple situations where they could get in right now because I know like this, I want to see them in the tournament, but they're still not quite there yet. But they could definitely do it.
Yeah, and like we talk about, sometimes it's who is hottest right now, a la the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But it was interesting when you were talking about them. It's just to note that these teams that they beat, Illinois, Ohio State. So it's kind of shaking up what we kind of think about the balance of power in the Big Ten, right?
Right.
Especially now with your boy Io being out for Illinois. By the way, so he's out indefinitely, right?
Right.
Okay, so this is the issue I have. So he's out indefinitely with like a face injury. It's like a nose.
Yeah, nose broke. Yeah. Breaking nose.
Have you noticed that indefinitely is always used wrong?
Yes, bro. Yes.
That's what I'm saying because he's out indefinitely. Okay.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know what a broken nose is. It's like a couple weeks. It's like okay, so you can't say somebody's out indefinitely just because you're not exactly sure. I mean, give like a time frame.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure.
It's like okay, so if I get a boner, if I get hard, okay, and I decide that I'm not gonna jerk it off, does that mean I'm just hard indefinitely because I don't know at what point I'm gonna return to a soft state? That is an incorrect use of the term indefinitely, just as it is in the case of Io being out indefinitely.
I like your analogy.
Thank you.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But it definitely sounds like terrible. Like they used indefinitely when threw the helmet at I'm trying to think Browns versus Steelers, right?
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They used that indefinitely because they didn't know when he was coming back. They didn't have a trial yet. Nothing. That's a better use of indefinitely than Io DeSimo being out for a few weeks or a week with a broken nose.
Yeah, Myles Garrett brought a new meaning to the word or to the term face fucking.
Yeah, facts, absolutely.
He fucked his face.
He did. No, absolutely.
But with no Io, it's Coffee Cockburn's team now. So we're gonna have to see where this goes.
Speaking of Kofi Cockburn. Did you see he was in the top 5 for best center? I don't know what the award's called this year, but he is in the top 5. So congrats to him for being nominated for that. Well deserved. He's been amazing this year.
Real quick, let's talk. I want you to talk to me and everybody about Alabama because they were number 6 in the last rankings, and then they got absolutely railed
by Arkansas.
By Arkansas.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this again and again and again, probably for the next 3 or 4 weeks until we're through the conference championship tournaments. This is, to me, the exact same situation as... Now, I don't think Villanova and Virginia are as good as Alabama, Illinois, or Ohio State. However, Illinois, Ohio State, and Alabama are in the exact same situation as Villanova and Virginia. Virginia got railed by FSU, okay, and they took another loss, right? But FSU was a bad one, okay? Villanova lost to Creighton, a good team, right? College basketball is so unpredictable, especially as we get closer to March. I mean, it's February 26th right now. We're getting close. Some of these teams need wins, and it's desperation time, right? So you turn it on. MSU beating Illinois, Ohio State, same situation as Alabama or Arkansas, if not even a little bit more extreme because of how good the Big Ten is. Alabama's going to be all right. They're not going to drop out of tournament contention. They're probably going to be, in the championship SEC game, maybe the Final Four for the SEC championship. They're still good, but it just shows you how unpredictable college basketball can be, especially around this time of year. It can be potent.
That's why it's so fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it should be noted. I think you mentioned just Arkansas. They're no scrubs. They're ranked 20th. They've been playing good ball. So I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
That being said, let's do our Jizz Hornkamp Memorial Look Out For Award of the Week.
Okay.
Who do you got this week?
Oh man, it's tough because I could go with. I wanted to do a team.
Yeah.
I wanted to do MSU, right? That was one of the things.
Right.
And I think I'm going to go with them just because they have this path that is looking a lot more convincing.
Yeah.
But people, like notable people, I think Kofi Coburn, I think look out for Luka Garza. I think he's going to be on a mission to, avenge what happened against Michigan with Hunter Dickinson. He put up 16 points, but that was the hardest 16 points he's ever gotten in his life, right? So, just Hornkamp Memorial, a couple, notable people, but MSU, watch out for them. They are going to be on the hunt for the bracket appearance, and they're going to need to do so by taking down a really tough Michigan team at least once. If they don't do that, they got to find a way to get into the championship game for the Big Ten tournament. Anyways, they're going to be on a kill mission these next couple weeks, and look out for them.
I like both of those picks. I do. Saffron.
Saffron.
Saffron is my pick for
Okay.
the Jizz Hornkamp Memorial Look Out For Award of the Week.
Okay.
Saffron is an excellent, refined spice, much like one Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Excellent,
Yeah.
refined, cultured, classy.
Right.
Keep an eye out for Russell Wilson. More specifically, keep an eye out for locker room leaks. So when there's dissension within a football team, you'll start to see these locker room leaks.
Mm-hmm.
These are coming from players who are frustrated with the frustration. They're going to be upset that Russ has been taking everything to the media.
Mm-hmm.
So, right now, the word is that, he's not going to be traded.
Mm-hmm.
If you start to see more of these, anonymous sources, these locker room leaks, keep an eye out for that, because that might be a harbinger of, a change of scenery for one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Definitely something to look out for. Definitely two good picks for the Just Hornkamp Memorial. Watch out for, what I fucked it up.
The Jizz Hornkamp Memorial Look Out For Award of the Week. Pretty much what you had.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, my pick, I kind of did that intentionally to move us into this next topic, which is Russell Wilson. So, I know usually the NFL is kind of, my thing, but what do you think about just all this dissatisfaction, some of the movement, the quarterback movement? What do you think about some of what we're seeing right now?
I think there's some deeper levels to it. I always think that there's some deeper levels to what we see. The media can only know so much, right? And they can only report on stuff that they have hard sources on. That's how the media works, right? A lot of times you need two hard sources unless it's a direct source. Okay, that's just some basic TV, media, Sports Center knowledge for you guys, because they want to make sure they get their facts right? So yeah, a lot of teams, they've been struggling. I think Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson are the best two examples. Just teams that aren't well put together necessarily, and those two people definitely carried, right? And carried as much as they could. They put a load on their back. I think that there's also some stuff going on in, headrooms or top rooms with maybe, drafting a different piece, or like getting a different quarterback. I think that something has to do with that. And a lot of this dissatisfaction stuff, it is interesting though. I mean, like it's the same thing with James Harden. I think that he was on a team where he had to drop an insane amount of points to get wins. Just scrape out these wins. And in the NFL, it takes a toll on you. I mean, you play 82 games in the NBA. In the NFL, you're taking hits every single week. I mean, big hits from these people who I couldn't imagine running at me like that. You know what I mean? You want to make sure your money's secure, and you want to make sure that your longevity is secure so that you can continue to make money. So I think all that has to go into dissatisfaction. But Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, two of the best examples I've known of that kind of situation going down.
In all seriousness, that was one of the best takes that we've had on this podcast all 3 weeks. So,
well, thank you.
Very well done.
Thank you.
I do want to dive into this Russell Wilson topic specifically for a minute, because there was a big bombshell report that came out from The Athletic this past week, basically detailing some of the tension that has been, manifesting within the Seattle Seahawks locker room. Specifically, it referenced an instance where the Seahawks were coming off of, I believe, 2 straight losses. It was a Thursday night game. They're going to be playing the Arizona Cardinals. Russ had turned the ball over, I think, a combined 7 times in the last 2 games. And they were, trying to figure out, how to solve the offense. So Russ, offered, his opinions, some of, his ideas that he thought could be implemented. He was dismissed, and he subsequently stormed out of the locker room, or out of the meeting room, I should say.
Interesting.
So there's been some stuff going on for a while. But so when this all went down, this was interesting because there was, an interaction between him and Pete Carroll, specifically the head coach, which is what this is detailing. And I don't know if you remember this, but week 1, I actually had one of my sources, give me the transcript or give me the rundown of the Brady Tyrann Mathieu dialogue.
Yeah, absolutely.
A similar source, I was able to get the inside scoop on one of these interactions. So I'm just gonna read this off.
Read it off.
So basically, Russell Wilson went to Pete Carroll, and he basically wanted to speak to the manager. He wanted to speak to the person above Pete Carroll.
Okay.
But within the Seahawks, structure, Pete Carroll is the top dog, in the franchise, which unless, you're the Houston Texans and you have a cult leader who's running the franchise, this is pretty much unheard of in the NFL.
Exactly.
So Russ went to Pete, wanted to speak to somebody above him, and Pete told Russ that, I am the manager. Pete Carroll's the manager. He is the top dog. So then Russ said that he wants to speak to somebody below Pete so that they could commiserate about what an old, shriveled up piece of weak-ass chode that Pete Carroll is. And then he concluded the conversation with "Go Hawks." So
I'm curious to know what your source is on that guy, because it sounds, it's a very interesting conversation.
The sources trust me, bro. It's reliable, and you do not have to worry about it. So just let it be.
Oh, this is too much fun. Believe that. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Anyway, Russ said that Russ's agent, I guess, said that the 4 teams that he would consider a trade to are the Raiders, the Saints, the Bears, and the Cowboys. Although he's not requested a trade, those are the 4 teams.
Those are the 4 teams if they were going to trade them.
Give me one. Out of those 4, who do you think is the best fit?
Ooh, give me it again. I'm sorry.
Raiders, Saints, Bears, and Cowboys.
Saints.
Yeah.
I like the Saints. That matchup that duo with him and Michael Thomas. I mean, I've thought for a long time that Michael Thomas got to be one of the best in the NFL, just because of the fact that, I mean, he doesn't get very many passes over 15 yards, and he was putting up numbers like that, I know he had some stuff this year, but that would be a crazy fun duo to watch. I think he would be good on any of those teams, and I think a lot of those teams would be good for him, especially, some of the top-rated defenses, but the Saints, interesting.
Yeah, I like the Saints. I like the Raiders, too. The Raiders got a good O-line. Don't got much defense.
Yep.
I like the Saints because I'd like to see him with Sean Payton. The Cowboys, not so much. I don't love that, but it's a big brand. as long as he doesn't end up with the Bears, Russ, he's way too good for the Bears.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
The Bears, they deserve, like a Blake Bortles.
Oh, right.
A Josh McCown.
Yeah.
Case Keenum.
Exactly.
Gardner Minshew. Not a Russell Wilson.
Right.
So
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
But yeah, on that topic of quarterbacks, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the Patriots.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Their top pick right now is 12.
Yes.
Believe, right? I don't think they're going to get – I mean, they're going to have to do some magic working to get – I mean, you're going to have to get a top 8 to get, a quarterback that you can build your franchise around, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So a path to get there, I mean, just trading up for picks, to be honest. They need a future, and so I don't know how many picks you can trade away for a higher pick. You know what I mean? I don't know how many people you can trade away. I don't know if they have many pieces in there. But it is an interesting situation. I think that, I mean, even Mac Jones, I mean, he's a solid guy that you could get something started around. But he's projected to go 8 right now. So anyways, yeah. Tell me, do they have a path or no?
Well, that's the thing, man, because, if we're going to say that, Russ is going to stick with the Seahawks, we've already seen Carson Wentz, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, some of these free agent quarterbacks get signed.
Yep.
The pool is really limited. So right now you're looking at, a Marcus Mariota, maybe a Jameis Winston, Cam Newton. You do re-sign him because right now their, QB1 on the depth chart is Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett. So I don't know if you really want to go with that.
No, not at all. I wouldn't think.
What you're saying is good because, it'll bring us to this discussion, this, brief talk we're going to do about the draft.
Yeah.
My biggest question is how many spots do you have to move up to guarantee yourself one of these, top quarterback prospects? Because this meteoric rise of Mac Jones is, just goes to show the demand for the quarterback position right now.
Yeah,
in the NFL.
Absolutely.
So yeah, if I had to make a prediction right now, I would think that they would, invest some capital into moving up and getting, one of these quarterback prospects. You're not going to get Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, you're not going to get Zach Wilson.
Nope.
Justin Fields has dropped considerably, so
maybe Justin Fields.
It's those next 3 that
he would need to be coached up for sure. But yeah, no, he would be an interesting pick.
But yeah, so you want to talk a little bit about that? The mock draft.
Yeah, the mock draft. I'll start off because I talked about Mac Jones. I started off not the Mac Jones lover that everyone told me I should be from Alabama and all my college football pages. I thought that Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence would go 1-2. To be completely honest with you, I didn't think anybody was going to go over them. Justin Fields, like you said, has dropped. The way Mac Jones kept on performing throughout the year, just being consistent, right? Because you think about who they had. I mean, they had the Heisman winner on their team. Just made defenses look like high school football teams.
Yeah.
Middle school football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so just somebody to be consistent and deliver the ball consistently and be able to run the offense, I think that's very, very important to have. He's definitely NFL worthy. I don't know how good he'll be at this level. And he can move a little bit, but, it's not like he's no Justin Fields.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I like that he's up at 8. I think Zach Wilson is definitely the way I watched him perform this year, I think he's definitely a top 5 pick. Kyle Pitts, absolutely ridiculous for Florida. I mean, he's insane. Anybody who gets him is nuts. So these top 5. I don't know. It's been shaken up a little bit. I would like to see Justin Fields go higher, but I think the top 10 is pretty solid right now, based on what we saw towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
With a couple mix-ups, obviously, I think. But anyways, what did you think?
Yeah, so I'm gonna respond to the points that you brought up real quick. I just want to let everybody know what we're referring to right now. So this is Mel Kiper's mock draft. We're talking the top 10. So right now Mel Kiper has Trevor Lawrence at 1, Zach Wilson at 2. That's to the Falcons. Devontae Smith at 3 to the to the Dolphins. Via the Texans. Yep. The Jets at 4 with Kyle Pitts. The Bengals at 5 with Penei Sewell out of
tackle
Oregon.
Yep.
The Eagles at 6 with Jamar Chase. The 49ers at 7 with Justin Fields.
Yep.
The Panthers at 8 with Mac Jones. The Patriots trading up to get Trey Lance at number 9. And the Cowboys at 10 picking Patrick Surtain.
Who is a cornerback from Alabama this year.
Correct.
Taking over Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
But continue. Tell me what.
Right. So, first of all, Mac Jones. Let's get into him.
Yeah.
Dude's built like a washing machine. I
Yeah.
don't like that. I don't
Okay.
like the way he looks. He's too chubby.
Yeah.
He does not look like a pro athlete.
Facts.
But neither did Tom Brady. So I'm going to be careful right now.
Yep.
I will say, at Alabama, he was playing with some of the greatest skill position players in college football.
To ever walk.
Yeah, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and the running back.
Oh.
Why am I forgetting his name
Yeah,
right now?
I forget his name too. Wow, that's crazy.
but-
Anyways, just beyond skilled athletes.
Yes.
Very easy.
So, not going to have that in the pros.
No.
Not going to have that skill gap. So he's going...
You're not going to have that at the Panthers.
Yeah, they got Christian McCaffrey,
Right.
They have Christian McCaffrey.
They have
but
Christian McCaffrey.
They got some guys, but so Mac Jones, definitely in my opinion a little overhyped based off of the people he was playing around. He is not, I will repeat, not Joe Burrow. So stop the comparisons.
No,
I don't want to hear that.
absolutely not. I've heard of it all year. I'm tired of it, to be honest. But anyways, continue.
Next, Kyle Pitts, 4 to the New York Jets. This is ridiculous. This is stupid. I don't care if this guy is Tony Gonzalez. If my team drafted a tight end, either 3rd or 4th overall, top 5, there would need to be military intervention to keep me from the GM.
Wow.
Because of what I would do.
Interesting. That's a hot take.
ridiculous.
That is a take right there.
It shouldn't be because the tight end position is a joke. Okay.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I like this. I like this take.
Top 5 picks should be reserved for quarterbacks. It should be reserved for apparently left tackles, defensive ends. If you can get, a Deion Sanders level lockdown corner, a Ray Lewis, Earl Thomas, free safety, somebody like that. Not a tight end.
What would you say to the people who consider him less of a tight end and more of just an absolute animal, standing at 6'6" and being able to go up over everybody?
Well, okay, that's, a legitimate point, especially considering that, I'm hearing some of this, not George Kittle, this Travis Kelce kind of comp stuff coming out. But, what would the Kansas City Chiefs be without Patrick Mahomes?
Right.
Without,
Absolutely.
without some of these guys that they have on that team.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking, Kyle Pitts to the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's not going to be able to make the same kind of impact.
No, definitely not.
I think that a lot of the issue that I have is that the teams that are picking top 5, they have needs that are greater for the most part than, tight end, with the exception of, like, if you lose your franchise quarterback for the year, like a Tom Brady, tears the ACL or something like that.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I think a lot of people would agree with you in that, and especially teams like the Lions who have consistently not picked receivers or offensive linemen or quarterbacks and picked corners in like the top 3, right? Who, even if, Jeff Okudah is very good, but they needed other pieces. So I definitely agree with you there. Interesting take, though.
Yeah, I wonder if the Lions, who picked Jeff Okudah last year and then T.J. Hawkinson the year before, would have, maybe like to have somebody like, I don't know, a quarterback instead of that's not named Jared Goff. Because, that's what you have right now, and you're paying him a lot of money. So, let's say theoretically, you go back and, it's hindsight is 20/20.
Oh yeah,
of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, the Lions, instead of drafting, Jeff Okudah last year, if instead they drafted, Justin Herbert, for the Chargers right now.
Exactly, Justin Herbert. Yeah.
So
I agree.
You can still trade Stafford to the Rams. You can get back all those draft picks, and you don't have to take on this huge contract from Jared Goff. So this is I never understand this. It's obvious, at least to me, that they were going to move on from Stafford. So I would have liked to see them address that earlier. But
absolutely. So top 10 Mel Kiper's mock draft 2.0. That's our take on that. definitely interesting. It's going to be see how, things continue to mix up as teams open up more needs. Because, again, we're seeing a lot of demand from the QB position. Maybe more than we've seen in previous years, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think it's increasing because I think people are like less and less patient to let people develop.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a lot of people saying that the Dolphins need to address the quarterback position. And they drafted Tua,
right.
with, what was it, the top? It was a top five pick, I feel like.
Yeah.
So, he played, 10 games or so.
Mm-hmm.
No time to develop.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a win now kind of mentality. So
absolutely,
it's changing. People are not giving these guys the time.
I like it.
And that's, driving up demand.
That's an interesting take. And I think even to add on to that take, I think that they aren't realizing that you draft a quarterback, to redesign your system, but then a lot of times you just throw them into the system you already have. And again, that you need time to develop and, work into that system and, work towards your talents because, just throwing a square cog in a circular hole is not going to work kind of thing, So anyways, even if, even if it's a very good quarterback, he might not be built for that system. So I think that's a very, very good take.
Let's finish it off with our hot takes for the week and wrap this up.
Yeah, let's. I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay.
Pull up the timer here. Not 30 minutes. 30 seconds. All right. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Even though Deshaun Watson requested a trade and the relationship has completely descended into chaos, I think that he will be a Texan week 1 of the season.
Interesting.
However, I do not think he will play. I think he's going to have to hold out. I think he's going to have to force their hand. He will be fined a lot, but, I think that with the way the Texans are talking right now, they're not even picking up the phone, apparently, to hear some of these offers.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to have to take some more, drastic measures a la the Le'Veon Bell approach.
Right.
So that is my hot take.
It definitely is a hot take. I've heard a lot of things that, he doesn't have any intention of playing. So, yeah, that's I think that's how he's going to have to do it. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right.
Yourself, what do you got for us?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to go back to college basketball and the Michigan State Spartans. I think that they will not only make the tournament, but they will make a deep run to the Sweet 16. The way they're playing right now, there are 2 different paths. The path I think is easiest for them, take one from Michigan, make at least the Final Four in the Big Ten tournament. They'll get into a 16-15 spot, probably 15-14 spot in one of those playing games, and they will be able to make their way through one of the brackets. I don't know which one it's going to be, but they'll probably be able to get to the Sweet 16 if they continue to play like they have been recently. They are looking like a top 3 team in the Big Ten, which we thought they were at the beginning of the season, and it's just taking them a little bit longer, I guess. So, anyways.
I like that a lot. And if you guys didn't catch that, he's referring to the fact that they played like back-to-back games against Michigan here.
Yeah, they have a game against Maryland and Indiana, I believe, which they have to win. And they have 2 back-to-back games at Michigan and
in East Lansing
against Michigan. They're going to have to steal one of them with no fans against a very, very good Michigan team.
Yep.
My boys, right? I think they can do it. I don't know if it's 50-50. I don't know. I've talked to Jack a little bit about this. Rivalry games are always hard, but then they'll have to make a deep run into the Big Ten tournaments to have a chance.
Yeah.
But they can give themselves a chance. They just got to execute, keep executing at this point, and they can because. It's not one of those situations where like somebody has to lose.
Yeah.
They can do this on their own.
Yep.
So
keep adding to the resume and let the chips fall.
Absolutely.
Hey brother, great work this week.
This has been a good week, good podcast. I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. Continue to give us feedback, comments, everything. I've heard from a couple different people.
Concerns,
whatever.
Favorite sexual positions,
facts, whatever you feel. So anyways, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.